Hello, April is Personal Finance Month. So I wanted to share with you some books and some podcasts slash YouTube channels to help demystify personal finance for you so that it doesn't have to be something that's so scary. I am Essence Revealed, and I'm documenting my journey from actor to tractor as a 48-year-old rookie trucker, documenting my journey to financial independence and to life and location freedom so that other Black women over 40 can see that it's never too late to start over, no matter the fears in our heads or the judgment we think is out there. And fear, speaking of which, is one of the things that stops people from even bothering to try to learn about personal finance. But honey, I am telling you right now, the way the world is going, you cannot afford to be scared of personal finance. You should be scared of not knowing about personal finance. So let's talk about some books that can help break this down. The first one I'm going to talk about is A Simple Path to Wealth by Jim Collins. He also has a blog, so if you don't want to read a whole book, he wrote this blog to his daughter because she didn't want to hear him talking about personal finance. And so he wrote a blog so that it would be documented for her how to go about building wealth and building financial freedom. And it's called The Simple Path to Wealth because it is very simple. It is about long-term investing, and it breaks down how you can open an account within broad-based index fund, a low-fee index fund, and just make deposits. Set it up. You can put some things on auto pay, and it is not as difficult as people want to make it seem. So check out Simple Path to Wealth by Jim Collins. He has another book called Pathfinders, extraordinary stories of people like you on the quest for financial independence and how to join them. So this is a book about various individuals from all different backgrounds and their journeys to financial freedom. Because a lot of times people think, oh, that's not for me, that's for rich people, only the very wealthy can do it. I myself thought that. I first started learning about personal finance when I was in my mid-20s, and I allowed the world to convince me that it was something I couldn't learn about. I didn't make enough money to ever be on a journey for financial independence, and I was wrong. I so wish that I knew what I knew now then. So check out Pathfinders, the extraordinary stories of people like you on the quest for financial independence and how to join them, which is also by Jim Collins. The other book I'm going to recommend is one that I suggested to a friend of mine who is terrified of personal finance and investing and all of that stuff, and she could not stop raving about this book. It is called Money Out Loud by Berna Anat. And the subtitle is All the Stuff No One Taught Us About Money. So Money Out Loud, all of the financial stuff no one taught us about money. And my friend loved how simply it was broken down and how easy it was to understand and how non-judgmental it was, and very digestible. It was actually written for teenagers. So if you're someone who's like, this sounds like a whole other language, I don't even know what questions to ask, I don't even know where to start, this is a book for you because it was literally written for young adults. It was written for teenagers. So be sure to check that one out. Money Out Loud, All the Financial Stuff No One Taught Us by Berna Anat. The next one is also for young people. I'm reading it and studying it with my niece and nephew. It's called How to Turn $100 into $1 million, and it's by James McKenna and Janine Glista with Matt Fontaine. And so my niece and nephew and I are going through the book. It's 10 chapters. It's written for children. My niece just turned 14. My nephew is about 12. And they are understanding the concepts. We read chapters, we talk about it, we review it. There's 10 chapters, so they are getting $10 from Auntie for every chapter they complete, so that when they finish the book, they will have their first $100 and tell me how they want to invest it, and I will open the accounts for them. So yeah, How to Turn $100 into $1 million by James McKenna and Janine Glista with Matt Fontaine. So if you have young children that you want to, you could learn together by reading this book. The last book I will tell you about is Your Journey to Financial Freedom, a step-by-step guide to achieving wealth, which is by Jamila Souffrant. And she goes through all the different stages that one has to go through in order to build wealth and get to financial freedom. She has something that she calls the different guac levels. So for example, someone might be completely extreme and want to live frugally and save every dime and optimize every cent. And so they probably would be a guac level 1. And then there are other people on the other end of the spectrum that's like, when I retire, I want to have, I don't know, 6 figures of income that I can pull from my investments, and I don't want to, spare anything. I want to live lush, and there's everything in between. And so she talks about that. I'll also say that Jamila Souffrant has a podcast called Journey to Launch. And it's a really great podcast. I love listening to it. You can learn all kinds of things about financial independence and all things money by listening to that. Another podcast I love, we're gone from books and now we're into podcasts. Another podcast I love is the Afford Anything podcast by Paula Pant. And she is a real estate investor and also talks a lot about personal finance and investing, long-term investing, and does a really great job at making it very understandable. So check out her podcast, Afford Anything. On YouTube, there is a channel called Fabulous Financials with money coach Malika. Her channel is really great because she uses her experience going from, being on welfare to retiring early in her 40s. And she now is a money coach and teaches people about personal finance and is very accessible. Very, very accessible. So you can check out her YouTube channel and go through all of the videos that she has there. Fabulous Financials with money coach Malika. And another channel I will tell you about is Black Girls Invest Too. And on this channel, she gets into nuts and bolts about investing, what kinds of things she invests in, and breaking down the different kinds of investing, and just talking about personal finance in a way that is explained to people who may not know about personal finance, and kind of guide you on where to do your own research so that you can further educate yourself on these things. So be sure to check out Black Girls Invest Too with D. And the last thing I will tell you about is also a YouTube channel called Investing Simplified by Professor G. He is a professor that teaches about personal finance. What I love about his videos is that it really is investing simplified. The videos are short, very easy to understand. The information is made super, super simple in terms of long-term investing. And I think you should really check that out so that, all the language and everything else isn't such a mystery. So happy Personal Finance Month. I will put links into the description for as many of these things as I can find. But you really should, make it a priority to at least find one of these books to start with, and find one of these podcasts to start listening to. What starts to sound like wah, 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 eventually starts to make sense with repetition the more you dive into it. So don't be scared. They're lying to you. They don't want you to know how to get financially free. Don't let them do that to you. Don't do it. Just look at things. Look at things.